Welcome tonight to our TMBT Media Las Vegas podcast, Globe Warriors. Tonight is September 27th, 2019, and we are honored and blessed to be here with a couple of our TMBT clients on the line with us. We have Larry Rivers from Syracuse, New York. Larry attended Buffalo State in Syracuse, close to Syracuse where he was born. We also have Kevin Phillips, who is also from New York. Kevin attended the University of Maine, Fort Kent. And we also have our third TMBT Pro on the phone is one of our veterans who's traveled down to Argentina with us almost four times. Kasim Green from Philadelphia, one of our veterans. Kasim attended Cheyney State. All three of you guys there with me tonight?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good, man. How's everybody doing tonight, man? I really appreciate you guys taking a little time and talking a little shop with me. Really means a lot, man. How you guys doing? How's everybody doing?
Can't complain. Doing good, sir.
Good, man. Good.
Focus.
We'll start off with Kasim Green, one of the leaders of our groups that has been down. Kasim was in Argentina playing with Sportivo America probably about 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago, and so he's been home for a couple months, and we'll be getting him back coming up here soon, back down to our TMBT Argentina combine down in Argentina. Kasim Green, talk to us a little bit. We have Larry Rivers and Kevin Phillips that are kind of new to our program and have never traveled with us before. What are some things that you recommend for young men like that have never traveled or never been to Argentina before? Kevin Phillips has played overseas, but neither one of these guys has actually been to Argentina. What would you recommend to some young guys that seem to take it very serious and want to be good? What do you recommend? What did you do your first trip going down?
First of all, you gotta be focused because you can lose. You get distracted quick down there. Females, all types of stuff. You got to stay focused, and and listen to the coaches and don't try to get in no trouble. Because it's quick to get in trouble.
Easy to get in trouble down there, man. It's so much, like you said, it's so much, it's just so much pulling at you, man. So much that you are not down there for. You're down there for work, but it's one of those things where you could very easily quit traveling with vacation. And so it's definitely a vacation. It's something that is definitely work. Practice twice a day. Getting rest when you can, and just trying to give your all. Like we always say, like we always tell our clients, you're competing against yourself. You're not competing against any other player. You're not competing against any other guard or forward. You are competing against yourself. And every day you take the court with us down in Argentina at our combine, you have to show that you're focused on what your job is, no one else's job. You have to be focused on what you're trying to do, each individual player. And that's what we always tell our guys. Larry Rivers, you've been with us for a while. You've been a client for a while. Talk to us a little bit about yourself, what it was like growing up in Syracuse, New York, playing basketball as a youngster. Talk to us and share your upbringing in basketball a little bit with our listeners.
I started playing organized ball probably when I was like 13, 12 years old, honestly. I never was good. Keep it real, like be all the way 100. I never was good at ball. I just never quit at it. You feel me? Like I always continued to pursue it. It don't matter. It didn't matter how good I was, how bad I was. I just always pursued it. It kept my mind off of all the negative things. As far as I know, my guys know on the phone right now, the streets. Like we all come from some poverty-stricken places, and it's easy to fall into that type of adversity. So basketball pretty much was a lane. You know what I'm saying? And it kept me in my lane. It kept me focused on something I could be, and I am going to be, but it just kept me focused, bottom line. So when I started playing ball, like I started like 12, 13. I played AAU for the first time, probably freshman year of high school. And I didn't have no male guidance as far as when I began basketball. It just came about as I got better. I started playing AAU. I got more athletic. I was dunking. I couldn't shoot. I just was dunking everything. They loved that shit. So it just turned into something I could have done. So I never quit. So at the end of the day, I just feel like if you really love something, you're going to pursue it. Just never quit. Like, always stay strong with it. And that's all I did my whole upbringing with ball. Like, and they got me here right now to this day. I don't have no crazy accolades. I ain't go Division I. I ain't do none of that shit. But I made it far and I never quit. So that's what it's about.
Hey, man, that's big. Never giving up on anything. I don't care what it is, basketball, school, whatever it is, you can't give up on it, man. You got to keep plugging away. Kaseem Green, back up a little bit for me. Talk to me a little bit, kind of like Larry did. Tell us about growing up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You're an inner city kid like I am. Talk to us about growing up in Philly, basketball-wise and education-wise, and what kept you focused and grounded to make it to where you are today.
I ain't really pick. My grandma put the ball in my hand.
Okay.
Since I was like 5 years old, and then when I moved to where I moved from South Philly and I moved to North Philly, that's when everything started coming together. Started playing organized ball. I started playing with pros. I started playing with players that's in the NBA now, like Kyle Lowry, the Twins. We could play with 11, 12 years old. We used to go everywhere. Once I moved to North Philly, and they see how good I was, like as a kid, everybody wanted me to play on their team. Like, so I started playing with players that that's in the NBA now at 12 years old. So like Kyle, like the Twins, Marquise Morris, and them. A lot of majority. Then I played AAU with Rasheed Wallace. Everybody in there probably went somewhere overseas somewhere, and everybody a pro. And I've been playing ever since.
Right. Like you said, man, that was pretty deep. Most guys get the basketball game from a brother, or I was the only kid, so I picked it up at the boys' club. I heard you say your grandmother instilled the work ethic and the love of the game, man. So that sounds like something that you guys shared together.
I had a girl coach, Miss Goodman, rest in peace. She taught me all the fundamentals at 5th grade.
Man.
She taught me the game. A female taught me the game.
That's love.
Hey, that's love right there. And it goes to show you that it doesn't take a man. Doesn't have to be a man to show you or to give you the love for the game. Whoever that human being is that gives you the passion for the game, that's something that I'm sure you and your grandmother will have. You guys will have that bonding moment. I'm sure you will never forget that. I'm sure that's something that will stick with you always. And that's
I can't. Ain't nothing good for.
And I'm sure she was tough on you. Most grandmothers though. Yeah, but most grandmothers love you.
Doing you practicing on your threes. You working on your boxing out.
Oh man.
That's what it is right there.
Man, that's a luxury. Kevin Phillips.
I won't be going if it wasn't for her though.
No doubt. I believe that, man. I believe that. A lot of us have family members that keep us going, or that continue to give us positive energy. And like you said, it's something that was instilled in you. And I'm sure you are a great young man. So clearly you can tell that you were raised the correct way and taught to respect people and to honor your word. And so it's been a pleasure having you be a part of our family and doing just that. Being a man of your word, working hard, and being an example for our younger players. Kevin Phillips, also from the state of New York, from the University of Maine, Fort Kent. Kind of the same thing that we asked those guys. Talk to us a little bit about growing up in the state of New York. I know you said you grew up in Harlem. How was basketball growing up, man? What was your life like, education-wise, basketball-wise, and just growing up as a kid in New York City?
Well, to be quite honest, when I started playing basketball, my brother was playing. I kind of wanted to just be like, wanted to be like him. So when I went to see him play, he played for Gaucho. It was a legendary AAU program. So once I watched him play a few, then I made me want to play. But I started off playing chess. So I was a chess player. And then after, I want to say, 6th grade, after watching my brother play, I picked the basketball. And then that summer, I just would just be in the park during the snow, rain, sleet, nighttime, daytime, whenever. If I was on punishment, I'd hide my basketball, go to the store for my mother, take my basketball outside to shoot. While I'm at, say, like, you know, last time I'm going to the store, I'm really going to shoot. So I just started being a passion for it. And then 7th, 8th grade, I just took off. Started playing all my local tournaments, doing good. I want to say 8th grade, I finally made a name for myself for the New York City circuit. Was going to go to a few, I was going to go to Rice after, I want to say this was when Kemba's senior year, when he was leaving. But things didn't work out financially, so I wound up going to a different school in the Bronx, which was the top school for public schools. That worked out basketball-wise, but academically, it wasn't the greatest school, and there was a lot of trouble there. So I wound up moving to Albany, New York, where I finished my high school career at Troy High School. My senior year, we got to, I believe, 5th in New York State, which was an accomplishment for us. I played with a few players that are overseas right now. Some of them played one at Texas Tech, another one at Siena. Talented team. But I didn't start. I was a 6th man for my every year varsity because my team was, you know, real talented. But I did my role. I never let it discourage me. Just knew I had to work on some things, and that I still had people that, you know, felt I wasn't as good to make the starting lineup. So I had a burden to carry, something to make me work harder. I wound up playing AAU for City Rocks, which is a Nike EYBL team. Played for them for a while, kind of got some interest in some schools. Committed to a Division II school in New Jersey called Felician, but they had a coaching change, so I wound up going to a few other schools before I landed in University of Maine, Fort Kent. Landed there, did good. We had a few tournaments before, you know, I departed from the team. Did what I had to do, but things didn't work out for me, and pretty much it was kind of looking like basketball wasn't going to be, you know, my outlet. Kind of like basketball was starting to close doors for me, and then I want to say after college was done, I kind of met the right people, made some connections, and due to my hard work and me having some teammates that was already foreign, but then my teammates from Spain wound up telling the coach about my talents, and then the coach seen my film, and then he was interested in me playing. I wound up, you know, taking the coach's offer, played in Spain, and then from there I was able to get my foot in the door. And now I've been playing in Brazil also, won a championship in Brazil. And then I just left El Salvador, which was a humbling experience in itself. So I just always stay humble, always stay, you know, motivated, always knew that I kind of look at it as I'm not supposed to be a professional ball player. So I always keep that, you know, target on my back that, you know, I'm probably taking someone else's spot. So I always work every day to make sure that, you know, I keep my position solidified, and wherever I go, I try to give my all, because I never know if I'll be my last position playing professional basketball.
Oh man, that's a fact.
Understood, man. Understood. That's you touched on some very deep points. I think out of this group, you played more overseas ball than the other two TNBT pros on the radio with us now. Talk to us a little bit about Kasim Green has traveled down with us. I heard Larry say earlier that he hadn't been on a plane in like 3 years or something. So talk to me a little bit about Spain, Brazil, and El Salvador. Brazil I've been to. Spain I haven't been to. El Salvador I haven't been to. Talk to me about the difference in how basketball is played in those three countries where you played. Kind of elaborate on the difference in styles, the difference in cultures. Of course, basketball-wise, but also off of the court as well.
So Spain was my first professional season, so that was a great experience, but it was a learning experience as well. I went there thinking I'm American, so I'm gonna go there and kind of score, do what I like. But I actually got, a rude awakening. They wanted me to kind of play more of a Ricky Rubio role, run an offense, get the bigs involved, play defense full court, to kind of just pretty much run the offense, but don't look to score, kind of be a facilitator.
Right.
And I was used to it, but I wasn't used to it to that extent. It was games that had mismatches, and I couldn't exploit it because I had to, put my team first instead of my personal goals, which was a struggle for me, like I said, in my first year. So that was challenging, but it was also good because it helped me become a better basketball player because now I had to work on aspects of my game that I didn't know I needed to improve on until I got out there. So the basketball part was kind of a rude awakening. The cultural difference was amazing. I loved every part of Spain, between, people being friendly and everyone welcoming you open arms and they supporting the team. And it was just a great experience, having signed my first autographs, which I never thought I'd do in my life. So that was great as well. Just like I think Mr. Kasim Green touched on, it was some distractions as well. In Spain, they party a lot, most times during the days and during weekends. So, it's kind of, you got to balance your fun with, what you're actually there for. So I was able to do that, but some of my teammates weren't. And, they got released from the team for some disciplinary action. So that was a lesson as well. As far as Brazil go, that was more so, I believe, my best experience. I played there, won a championship there. The team kind of let me play my game. I was able to run the show, but also play my basketball game on offense. I still was doing defense and things of that nature. As far as the living goes, it was amazing. I got treated like a superstar that I probably wasn't, but that they treated me with none but love. I had so much fan support, so much support from the city, fans, everything was just amazing. I was playing my best experience. The food was the best I probably had in my life. Teammates was amazing. Everything was great. But also with Brazil, like Spain, I was away for months and months. So, I wasn't around my family much. So that was a struggle. But once you're over there long enough, you kind of get used to it and you get acclimated. And you kind of lean on your teammates and basketball as a way to kind of get you through the time you're not with your family. As far as El Salvador go, that was real a culture shock as well, because it's a real third world. The food was good but very inexpensive. I could get meals for $1.50 American, 4-course meals. Basketball wise, I mean, if you're American there, they're looking for you to pretty much average 30 to 40 points. So that was different because I'm used to running the offense, being a pass first, so a facilitator, point guard. And I went there and had to be strictly score first. So that was different. I enjoyed it, but it was a different experience as well. And as far as the living go, it was real third world. I was kind of like you shower outside, use the bathroom outside type thing. It was a shelter over it, but it was still outside. So I kind of, was not used to that. Kind of felt a little odd. As far as the fans go, the fans were amazing. Teammates was good. They treat you, like family. So all three had its perks and had its cons, but they all was great experiences. And if anyone ever out there wants to definitely travel to those countries to play or kind of visit, you have a good time for sure. They treat Americans there like royalty.
Good, man. That's important that you realize. And one thing that Kasim can vouch for is that we want our guys to have the best time that you can, because it's an experience. And you can't have a good basketball experience but don't have a good off the court experience. So it's 50-50. You have to have a good we want our guys, especially when they travel down. Kasim Green, you could talk a little bit about I heard Kevin Phillips talk about the food. You and I laugh and joke, and we talk about the food all the time. Talk to us a little bit about your experience down with us, Kasim, the 3 times you went. Talk about your first time where you didn't know what to expect. You didn't know kind of like where you were going. And then by your 3rd time, you just kind of knew where to go and knew how to get there. Just kind of talk about what it was like before you went down versus after you went for your 2nd time.
First time, I didn't know what to expect. But like the second and third time, it was like I was hungry.
Right.
For the food and everything.
Right.
You just got to make sure you. Like I lost my bag down there.
Right, I remember you lost your bag. Yeah, that was crazy.
So, stuff happened. Good thing I had some extra ball sleeps.
Right. I remember your bag finally got there a couple days later, but you didn't. Nothing was stolen. And you were so calm about it. You didn't make a big deal about it. You just went on about your business, doing what you always do. And so, if you hadn't said anything, we would not have known because you were so calm. You know, somebody that's going down for a job interview and need your shoes and your gear. You were really calm, man. You were like, Coach, I can play in whatever, man. Just get me a pair of shoes and I can play. So. That was one of the things that I remember about you. Larry Rivers, talk to me a little bit about yourself. You played in the PBL and the NABL.
Yes, sir.
Talk to us a little bit about your pro experiences and stuff that you've learned from when you first started, the first year coming out of Buffalo State to where you are now as a pro. Talk about what you've learned and what you've been through. And what you learned in the process.
Well, from Buffalo State, it was just really way more fundamentally sound as far as just the structure and just having mandatory weight rooms and just having a lot of more mandatory things you had to do within your team. Versus me going to the PBL my 5th year. I was still in school when I played for the Buffalo 716ers in the PBL. I was in my 5th year of school at Buffalo State. But when I started playing for them, I just learned it's a lot more. It's who wants it. Like at the end of the day, like nobody gonna hold your hand at the end at this process. Even in college to a certain extent, like they're gonna make sure you good, but they're gonna see who really wants it. So I just learned throughout the time, as much as work as you put in, you got to show, like, you got to put in work to get where you trying to go. And, outside of when college was over, it just restricted from semi-professional basketball. It was just like my drive. I guess I would say my drive changed more because in college, it's easy to get distracted in college versus which is schoolwork, and then you got your social life and everything else you got going on if you got a job in college. But as far as the semi-professional, it's just you just got to stay strong. Bottom line, like it's easy to really feel negative about anything when it comes to this, because this is, like I said, this is my first time investing my major bread into something like this, and even I've never been overseas. Bottom line, like this is my first time actually trying to go. So you got to be strong, you got to believe, and you just got to be patient, man. I understand. Nothing's promised. That's the thing. That's the biggest thing about all this I learned. Like nothing is promised. Nothing. Not nothing in your life. Forget basketball for a minute. Even in life, ain't shit promised in life. So you just got to go out and you just got to leave it out there. You feel me? So that's what I learned dealing from college to semi-pro.
This is true. Larry Rivers came aboard our TMBT family. One of his college teammates, Mike Henry, went down with us in January, and Mike Henry attended our combine in January. He signed with us in December, traveled with us in January, and I think it was January 6th that those guys went down, and we had gotten him a deal to play in the second division Argentina by the end of January. And so Larry Rivers was a college teammate. I just talked to Mike and found out how good he was doing. I'm assuming, Larry, and then you said, hey, I want to take my shot at it as well.
Now, to keep it real though, I remember me and you, we exchanged messages probably like 2-3 years ago. You feel me? Like, it's probably when I first played semi-professional basketball. So my knowledge for overseas, all of that was very poor. Like, I didn't know too much about overseas, any of that, how to go about it, nothing, not even a passport situation. But to make a long story short, Mike Henry, that's my bro. Like, he from Syracuse, New York as well. We came up together. So when I saw Avenue, I saw that you was really making avenues. I saw he got signed, and then I saw Kasim. I played. Me and Kasim played on the same team. Kasim played in the PBL the same year I played in the PBL. He played for Chicago Hurricanes when I was playing for the Buffalo 716ers. But me and Kasim kicked this, so I already knew Kasim. So I figured, damn, if Kasim with Mike Henry, they all dealing with the same person. Obviously, it's a good avenue. You feel me? So at the end of the day, it's about taking your chances. So I talked to Mike Henry about it. He broke everything doing to me, how everything is and how it was, and this love, like, nothing's promised. So you just gotta go out and get it. Like,
right. That's as real as I can. That's as real as it gets. You know, I try to tell everyone honest. Kasim can tell you nothing's promised, man. We get up every day, practice twice a day, and then we try to show that we're worthy of the job and that we don't mind hard work, and that it's one of those things where you, especially with basketball, you're going to get out of it what you put into it. So it's just one of those things where we try, and we're blessed to have good guys that travel down, that understand what we're doing. Of course, we've had some knuckleheads too. We've had some guys that have stolen basketballs, and some guys have gotten to our combines 4 days late. They get the combine 4 days late. The guys that get there on time, Kenny Wormley and those guys get jobs. And so we've had guys that got there 4 days late, but they want to get mad at us and call us scammers. But somebody else got signed from their group. So it's just about filtering our clients, getting rid of the bad apples that we've had, getting in some new guys that are serious, guys that take the game serious and that want to work hard and that really want to make pro basketball a career, right? Because I come across so many young men that don't really want to play until they're 40 years old. Some guys just want to go down to Argentina for the week and put pictures on Instagram and take a lot of pictures and go back and tell their wife that I did this, or tell the girls in the club that I'm a pro basketball player. But very few people are willing to put in the work that it takes to play until you're 40 years old, mentally and physically. So I'm just glad to have guys like you. Kasim Green has been with us for a couple years, and we've had to get rid of some guys, and we've signed some new guys, and just trying to make sure that we have a good group of guys, right? No guys, because all it takes is one negative attitude to throw everybody's mental off, right? That's something that we had last time. We had some negative guys in the group, one negative guy in the group, and it really threw off the entire the entire energy of the group. So it's something that I'm trying to do, is to get better guys that are willing to make the sacrifice, not to only make my trip go good, but to make sure that my teammates have a great trip as well. That's very important. Larry Rivers, like you said, you and Kasim Green played together, so you guys kind of know each other. Kevin Phillips, you've been traveling around for a while, so you kind of understand what it's about, man. This is a different life that we live. This international professional basketball life is different, and it's not for everybody, right? It's not for guys that have wives at home that are nagging them and putting pressure on them, or girlfriends or what have you. because that's not, we put enough pressure on ourselves as basketball players trying to get a job. So we don't need a wife trying to put pressure and girlfriend trying to put pressure. We need peace and positivity. That's very important. That's what I also preach for my guys that travel down with us in our team headquarters, on our team shuttle. We need peace and positivity. And so I'm hoping that you guys going down with this next group will use the fact that Kenny Wormley got signed from the same group, the same type of TMBT Argentina Combine that you guys got signed from. Mario Butler, Keith Jackson, Kasim Green got his first deal from one of our combines. So it's just part of our process. It's the second part of our process. Guys sign with us. We get their tape circulating in our TMBT global network of teams. But the second part, the most important part, is that I need guys to travel down with us to our TMBT Argentina Combine. It's a two-part process. So many guys think that once I sign up, now I don't have to travel down. No, we need guys to travel with us to Argentina to show what they can do, to be evaluated by our coaching staff and our coaches that come in. We also have friendly games that are being played, and we're up practicing twice a day. Our practices begin at 10 in the morning. Kasim Green can tell you this. Practices are at 10 and at 8 at night, every day, twice a day. So it's a way of life, man. It's what we need.
Get some rest.
Yes, Kasim.
Say, get some rest.
Get some rest, man. And for you guys that didn't hear what Kasim Green said, he's telling you guys to get some rest because it's lights out, man. We're playing for actual jobs. We have gotten 8 guys signed since January. So the jobs are there. We getting calls for more jobs. We just got to get more players down there to be evaluated. We have now we've had our second combine in another part of Argentina. So we are trying to get our players seen by as many of our coaches inside of our TMBT network as we can. So we just need honesty from guys who can travel, who can't travel, when you can travel, so we can plan for you being there and plan on getting your player profile to the correct people that are calling us for jobs. That's very important. Very important. Kasim, talk to us a little bit about what do you recommend for those guys that are listening and those guys that haven't traveled down, or even those guys that haven't signed with an agent yet, that are looking for a consultant, kind of lost. What do you recommend as far as getting going in professional basketball? What's your key?
You want something, you gotta go get it.
True. Yeah. Gotta go.
So Milton, hit Milton. He put you in the right direction. Like you say, nothing promised.
Right. Nothing promised.
So you go out there, you show what you got. You work hard. You don't work out. You go home. You come back. Keep going.
Keep grinding. Right. Keep grinding.
Promise.
Right.
I go out there all the time. Like I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna win, but it's gonna be soon.
Right. The part that really throws me about Kasim Green is Kasim went down with our first group, and he and Shaquem Jackson were the first two to receive offers. Right. Kasim Green had some family issues that he was dealing with. He has a family, his wife and kids, that he had to get back to in Philly. So even though he was offered to stay, he chose to come back and to I think he had been down there close to a month at this time. And I really applaud because Kasim Green, of course, wants a job like everyone else. but when he had to get back to his family and his job, I think he had to get back to his job and family. It was a no-brainer. He turned down the job. He says, Coach, I'll be back and I will get me another job, but I have to get back to my family now. And so that's to be applauded, man, because a lot of people would have been like, hey, forget the family, forget the kids. I got to go chase this basketball. And so it's one of those things where when you hear guys hear him talking, he's talking from his heart. He's talking from stuff that he's been through and experienced. So I'm hoping you guys, Larry and Kevin, I'm hoping you guys, and for those young men that are listening, those TMBT family members that are listening, we really hope that you take heed to what Kasim Green is saying, to what Kevin Phillips is saying, and what Larry Rivers is saying. Kevin Phillips, we want to take time for you to shout out your social media names and stuff so that people that want to contact you to find out what you're doing and get ready for these trips, call us out, your email or whatever you suggest people to contact you on.
Oh, no problem. You can contact me on Instagram. My name on Instagram is Primetime K Phil. That's PRIMETIMEKPHILL. That's my Instagram. If you want to contact me on Facebook, it's Kevin Primetime Phillips. And if you want to contact me via email, it's kev.ice10@yahoo.com. I'm active on all three, so if you have any questions or want to talk more, or maybe you want to get some advice or you want to give me some advice, I'll take that as well too. You contact me whenever, and I'll definitely get back to you.
Perfect. Larry Rivers, how about you? Shout out your social media names that you got for people to get in contact you with any questions concerning pro basketball.
Facebook, Larry Rivers. Instagram, LL_Rivers_2.0. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm a sponge, honestly. Anybody with an overseas experience. I know me and Kev, we chopped it up for a good little minute. Anybody with that, I'm a sponge, man, because we all students at the end of the day. I don't give a damn where nobody play. We can learn. You learn every day in basketball, you heard? So it's like, I'm just trying to learn as much as I can before it's time for that war, so.
Right. True indeed. Kasim Green, call us out your social media handles, brother.
On Facebook, Kasim Green. Hit me up anytime.
Yes, sir. Fellas, talk to me a little bit. We won't hold you long. This will be a two-part segment. But talk to me a little bit about Kevin Phillips. Talk to me a little bit about growing up in New York playing basketball. To me, from my view or my angle, it seems like I was born and raised in Richmond, Virginia, and it seems like guys from New York, Larry Rivers, guys from up north, Kasim Green, you guys have so much more. Basketball is taken so much more seriously. I think the more you go up north, it's taken way more seriously. Even leaving here, the further you go up north, when you leave Richmond and you go to Washington, D.C., it's taken more seriously. When you get to New York and Philly and you're going on up top, the further you go, the more it's taken seriously. Talk about playing basketball in New York City, in the state of New York, and just growing up, having access to so many courts and so many professional athletes. What was it like growing up in the city of New York or the state of New York?
Man, it was awesome. And every court, like you said, it's a court almost on every street, so you can never not have access to a court to play basketball on. Like I said myself, I play rain, sleet, or snow, so it was always, me trying to be out competing my competition. I'm from a big neighborhood, so everywhere where I was from, everyone played basketball. So, like I said, I didn't start off playing basketball, so I had to work my way up. So I started off from everyone in the neighborhood be able to kind of take advantage of me. I played with the older kids always because I felt like that's who my competition was, because I felt if I played with them and got as good as them, then people my age wouldn't be able to play with me. So I always played up with the older dudes, and the more and more I got good, the more and more I got noticed, the more and more I got to play in other tournaments for exposure, the more and more my name got out there. So it was competitive, but it was also, at the same time, it was a grind because, like I said, I'm probably the best in my neighborhood, but it's someone a few blocks from me who's better than me, who's getting more recognition than me, who's getting schools, who's getting everything that I wanted. So it was kind of like, as good as I thought I was, it's always someone who was better than me. And I always played in tournaments where I kind of got embarrassed, and which was good because that made me realize that I wasn't as good as I thought I was. So the more and more I played, the better I was able to get. And then once I was able to get my foot in the actual playing in structured basketball as far as AAU and travel teams go, then things took off from there. But as far as when I traveled, it was always like, I don't know how I say it exactly in words, but coming from New York, you kind of got to have a certain motive to you that, when you play certain states, like, for example, you play in Virginia, you play in Miami, you play in Alabama, wherever, they know you're from New York, so they want to kind of prove that, they can compete with you, and you always had that mindset of, I come from the Mecca of New York. So it wasn't to be cocky, but it was more so to still confidence in yourself, to know that you got to represent, because everyone's going to think you're as good, or they're going to assume that you think you're good because you're from New York. So right. It was always a mind game, I guess, but it paid off in the long run. I played against some of the best players, NBA players, AAU team had NBA players. My neighborhood produced a few professionals. So it was good for me. I can't say much more than that, but it was definitely a good experience. Rucker Park played in that. All the Dykeman played in that. All the good tournaments that you can think of. How you see it on TV is 10 times more intense in person. So it kind of builds your character. It gives you some heart, which I think everyone from New York could attest, or even from Philly, because I live in Pennsylvania now. Coming from up north, you got to play with some heart. You got to have heart. So once you install that in yourself, and you get some skill to you, you get some grind to you, then it kind of it takes off from there.
Right. Kasim Green, talk to me a little bit about growing up. When I think of Philly and the guys that I know that I played against in Philly, from Philly, man. Philly basketball is right there with New York basketball. You go get some hard games, guys playing hard, guys playing for real. Talk to me a little bit about growing up in Philly basketball. What did you guys do? Did you guys go more inside? You guys play more outside? Talk to me a little bit about growing up playing basketball in Philly.
When I'm playing basketball in Philly, I used to go everywhere. Oh, they balling here? I play one game, go to that game. Play this game, go to that game. Like, they playing basketball all year round.
Right.
It don't even matter. So, but that's where I got my heart from. If I ain't learned nothing else, if you ain't got no heart, don't get on there.
Facts.
Yeah. Hey, because anywhere, yeah. True.
Yeah, because if you get out there, you're going to get cooked.
Right.
And you ain't going to hear the last of it.
Hey, that good old city basketball, man. That good old city basketball. Larry Rivers, talk to us a little bit, even though still the state of New York. Talk to me about maybe the difference, if there is one, in playing basketball in the city and playing up in Syracuse. Basketball to me in New York, everyone plays hard. It doesn't make a difference where you are. Everyone has to play hard in order to survive. Talk to us a little bit about your young life growing up, your young as a young adulthood growing up, playing. You guys play more gyms. You guys play outside. How's the basketball rec in Syracuse, New York?
Well, in the town back in Syracuse, it's just to piggyback off of what Kasim said. Pretty much, if you don't got no tough skin, you ain't supposed to be in it. Honestly, like, you really gotta have that motor for it. Like, you really got to take constructive criticism and just the disrespect at the end of the day. Because if you get cooked, they're gonna call you out on it. Like, you can't duck from it, you can't hide from it. So you got to learn how to take that in and be like, I got cooked. Now I got to lock up. next time I run into Buddy or whoever I run into. Like, that's the type of motor you're supposed to have. But as far as I know, Kev lit because in New York City, the basketball different. It's different as far as the playing every single day, every single moment, I know Kev probably got tens of thousands of places he can actually play ball. You feel me? Like, back in Syracuse growing up, it's a west side, east side, north side, south side. And I'm from the west side. So it's like you can only go so far. We have Boys and Girls Club on every side of town, you know what I'm saying? The coaches, back in high school, coaches will give the after school drills for like an extra hour and a half or two. But outside of that, it's like who really wants it, you know? Like, there's places you can go to work on yourself, but it gotta be the people who actually wants to work on it. So when I was coming up, I was blessed with a trainer. His name was D Jack. He tried to get me in the loop early. I wasn't in the loop as early as he wanted me to be, but that was just somebody, like, he was just there. He showed me, like, you can really work out and you can play ball, you can do something else. And then I would say AAU really what changed me because I wasn't never outside in the streets of Syracuse. I was always playing ball. I was always going somewhere. AAU, every weekend we was doing somewhere. I heard Kev talk about Gauchos. I played them. I played them when I played for D Squad. I was invited to play for a team from Utica, New York. Me and my close friend. But we played with D Squad and we traveled to the Bronx, New York, and we played Gauchos. They was lit. Them boys, that was a different brand of basketball outside of what I was used to because everything about it was official, no lie. So it's like that was something different. Like, so as far as the New York City and upstate Syracuse, we all get it in, but the boys get it in 365. They got them avenues where they can go.
Right. Just I don't mean not to intrude on Mr. Bell, but just to piggyback on what Larry was saying, you know, when I played AAU for City Rocks, which I said when I moved upstate, our top player was from Syracuse. His name was DeJuan Coleman. He was number 3 in the country, and he's from Syracuse. He was an animal.
And that's great. That's my guy. Like, he my high school, my freshman year, he was in 7th, 8th grade. And he was playing varsity at my high school, but he ended up transferring to Janesville DeWitt.
Yep.
That's where Brandon Trish, Steve Thompson, you know what I'm saying? It was a lot of good cats coming out of there, and they pretty much was our rival through high school. They cooked us every year. Every year in high school, they got us, but
that was a real deal.
That was the game. We had the ball regardless. Like, that's what it was right there. But they won. That's my man right there. Like, he's a good dude.
Hey man, it's even back in my day, we used to play against the Gauchos and Riverside Church.
I played for Riverside. Yep, Menacing.
Yeah, Riverside Church and the Gauchos were the two main teams that we used to play against. Kenny Anderson played for Riverside Church. Red Autry, Brian Reeves, Conrad McCray, rest in peace. Man, so. Basketball to me up north, where you three guys are from, is really some of the best basketball that you're going to get. And to me, it's equivalent to basketball that you get overseas, because in Philly and New York you get a lot of pro basketball players. So when you go back in the summer, you're playing against guys. These guys are skilled, man. These guys are skilled. They're from major cities, and they see basketball differently. Like Kev said, you can go in New York City, and you don't have to even go to a gym. You can get your work in outside.
Yes, sir.
You can get your work in outside. You can get your cardio in. You can find some good runs. So it doesn't make a difference where you are. You just got to find out where they're playing, where you can get in, and you got to maintain focus. I would expect that in cities bigger and moving faster, like Las Vegas, New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Miami, it's a little harder to maintain focus because you got so much going on. Washington, D.C., you got a lot going on, man. And so you got more pulling at you, but you got more opportunities. So it's like the best of both worlds. You got the best opportunities, but you got so much pulling at you. So it's a lot going on for young players, man. So I really appreciate you guys maintaining focus, keeping your head and keeping in your mind what you want to do and where you want to go and where you want to play pro basketball. And I think that all of you guys that are on this phone, you guys, if you maintain focus and keep basketball and family and God first, then it'll really pay off in the long run. I can promise you that. Kasim Green can tell you. It's I'm kind of like he said, you're going to get out of it what you're going to put in it. Whatever you get out of it is what you're going to whatever you put into it is going to be what you get out of it, man. So I'm very proud of you guys, man. Really want to say thank you for hanging out with me on Friday night, September 27th, 2019. I know you young guys could be out hey man, at the movies or restaurant, and so I really appreciate you guys, Larry Rivers, Kevin Phillips, Kasim Green, for taking a little time to talk with us on our TMBT Media Las Vegas podcast, man. Hey, anything you guys want to say before we close? Anybody, family members, or anyone that you guys want to say hello to while we out here?
We all set. Appreciate the opportunity.
Good, man. Good, guys. With no worries. We're going to be signing off tonight from our TMBT Media Las Vegas podcast, Globe Warriors. Please stay tuned for our next segments coming up on our TMBT Media in Chile, TMBT Media Argentina. So for us tonight, we'll be signing off. Thank you guys for tuning in. God bless.
Appreciate it, sir.
Appreciate it.